Hey, this is Kay, and welcome to my channel. This is video one of hopefully many more videos to come, where I'll be sharing my experience with Magic the Gathering. There's some new expansions that have just come out. I have just recently been reintroduced to the game, and I'm having a lot of fun and looking forward to diving deeper and getting back into one of my favorite hobbies. Just a little bit about me and my introduction to Magic. I started playing about 20 years ago, so this is way back, just for a little bit in college, and at the same time kind of got into a couple other TCGs. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the main one that I played at that time. In the past, I've dabbled and tried a couple others in both English and Japanese that have come out, but yeah, that was a while back, and I haven't played since. Then a couple years ago, I started playing Pokemon, just as that franchise started becoming more popular again. Played for about 2 years, and then a local games store, card shop, actually opened up kind of close to where I live, and so I started going in there hoping to find a Pokemon crowd to play with, but that never really developed, at least not yet, but at the same time there are a lot of people who are really into Magic, and coincidentally Foundations was just being released at that same time, and the other franchise which was announced was Final Fantasy, and so I figured, oh, perfect, well, there's a lot of Magic players here, they're not going to play Pokemon, I'll get into Magic. Foundations is kind of the renewal set, if you will, and I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it, and it'll be a good chance for me to get back into it just in time for Final Fantasy, which I'm a huge fan of. Played majority of those games and really excited for that set, so that's kind of where I am. Played Foundations, and then a couple of the other sets that have been released since then. Ether Drift was one that I went really heavy into, and yeah, just having fun, getting to know people, relearning the game, and learning new mechanics as these expansions come out. I really enjoy drafting and standard, just because it's a little bit more of an even playing field, with the cards kind of being limited and randomized. But yeah, the latest set that came out was Tarkir Dragonstorm, and so I was fortunate enough to get a spot in the pre-release at the local card shop, and I went all 3 days. So I built 3 different decks and had a really good time. Just wanted to share how that went for me, and in the next couple videos I want to share the decks that I made, kind of walk you through some of the cards and the thought process as I was going through the deck building, and then talk a little bit about which cards perform well, which ones didn't, and just my experience there playing real life Magic. And then opening it up for comments and questions, advice. I love getting advice from anyone because I'm still learning. But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now, and this will be video 1 of 3 because I'll be doing a separate one on each of the pre-release days. So let's jump into day 1 and talk about the deck that I built, which was Jeskai. Alright, so for Tarkir Dragonstorm's pre-release, the first kit that we got was Jeskai, and so we built the Jeskai deck. We were lucky enough to get a lot of really awesome Jeskai cards that fit perfectly. Here you can see the Jeskai colored die. A little hard to see the numbers, but looks kind of delicious like candy. And anyway, let's get into the first deck. So Jeskai is red, white, and blue. One of the new mechanics is Flurry, which basically gives you some benefits when you cast your second spell during any turn. So that's kind of the focus that we put into this deck while we were building it. And then also we just tried to play some dragons. We were lucky enough to pull some dragons, and since it's a Dragonstorm expansion, yeah, we wanted to play some of those. So let's get into some of the cards here. So here's the deck. We've got Humbling Elder, 1 blue for 1/2 with Flash, so that's a good starting creature. We also pulled Taigum, Master Opportunist. So this one's awesome, it's mythic. This one has the flurry mechanic built in, which will basically let you exile a spell, copy it, and then you can play it 4 turns later on without worrying about its mana cost. So it fits perfectly with this deck. And he's only 2 mana. We've got High Spire Bellringer. So this one's 3 mana for a 1/4 flyer that makes second spells cast each turn cheaper. So that's awesome. That's going in for sure. Then we got a dragon. The first dragon, we actually got 2, the pretty one and the normal one. So this one is one of the few cards I can't pronounce. Digger or Durger Island Dragon. So this one also has one of the new mechanics, Omen, which looks really awesome. So this one's an instant on the Omen side for 2 mana. Can tap up to 1 target creature and draw a card. So I love card draw. This one's definitely going in there. And the cost on the dragon side, a little expensive at 6 mana, but you get a 4/4 flyer with Ward 2. So if we can get him out as a dragon, that would be great. If not, kind of looking forward to just using the instant side to trigger the flurry mechanic. And we got 2 of them, so we'll put those in there for sure. Looking at some of the other spells, so we got Wingspan Stride, a lot of flyers in this set, and so we want to be able to block those. So we'll put this in there. Gives the creature a little bit of a boost, and then flying. And then we got a counter spell here, so definitely going in there at instant speed, 2 mana. That'll just be great. And then so those are blue cards. So we mained blue and red and splashed a little bit of white here. But next one is Shock Brigade. So 2 mana for a 1/3. Creature with Menace and Mobilize. Mobilize is another one of the new mechanics. So whenever it attacks, then you create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature. And then you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. But yeah, super solid card. You get this out early and you've got something that can sneak in some damage. Put that up there. Next we got Jeskai Devotee. And so this one is great. It's got the flurry mechanic themed perfectly with Jeskai, but it's also got mana fixing ability here. For 2 mana, you get a 2/2. I think there's a Devotee in every set, so this one's definitely going into the deck for sure. And then we've got Sarkhan. We're lucky enough to pull him. So this guy works really well as dragons. You can create treasure tokens when you behold a dragon, and then when other dragons enter, you pump Sarkhan up, and he gains +1/+1 and flying. So we want to get him out into the battlefield early, which should be no problem, and then yeah, play some dragons and pump him up. We've also got Tersa Light Shatter. So this is a great card. For 3 mana, you get a 3/3 with haste, and has a card draw ability, so whenever she enters, you can discard up to 2 cards and then draw that many cards. So I like having the option there. And then also you can play exiled spells, or an exiled spell from your graveyard at random. So that'll be perfect with the Jeskai theme also. Another dragon, so Runescale Stormbrood. Cost 4, you get a 2/4 flyer that whenever you cast your second non-creature spell or a dragon spell, creature gets +2/+0, which sounds pretty great. But yeah, excited for the Omen ability. It's counter spell, so we definitely want that in there. Again, if we get this out as a dragon, that'll be awesome. If not, totally happy with the counter spell. Stormshriek Feral. This one a little expensive with 5 for a 3/3 flying haste with a pump ability, but also loving the Omen ability out here on the left side. So discard a card and then you can draw 2 cards. So I'm really interested in some of these card draw ability cards. Channel Dragonfire. This one deals 2 damage to any target for 1, which is awesome. And then it's got the new mechanic Harmonize, so we can play it again later on from the graveyard. So that is going in for sure. Molten Exhale. This one's awesome. You can cast it as though it had flash if you behold the dragon. If we do, that's great. If not, it still does 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So removal is key. Got 2 of them, so we're putting both of these in there for sure. Works really nice with Flurry. You can cast multiple cheap spells. Then this one looks interesting. Seize Opportunity. So it's an instant for 3. You can choose one. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end turn. Next turn, you can play those cards. Or you can choose to give 2 target creatures each +1/+2 until end of turn. And it's an instant, so you can sneak that in. This one's going in. This one looks great. And then we got a bigger spell out here, which actually you get a little bit of a discount. So for 5, it's an instant. You can deal 5 damage to target creature. Great for removal. But then you get 1 of each of the Jeskai color mana pips back. So in essence, that'll be a 2 cost to cast this spell, and then you'll have mana left over to cast a second spell. So that fits perfectly with the Jeskai theme also. Moving on to white for the splash, we got the Mardu Devotee, which love the Scry ability. For 1, you get a 1/2, and then get to see some of the cards coming in advance. With the mana fixing, we'll use him for the red and white. Put him in. It's a nice early creature to get in. Then we got Rebellious Strike. So this is an instant, love card draw, and so target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn, and then you get to draw a card. So we'll try this one out. Another cheap spell to use with Flurry. And then Osisius Exhale. So this one we'll put in for removal. Deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. And if you behold a dragon, you get 2 life. So we've got 6 dragons in the deck, I think. So let's put that there. Here are some of the multicolor cards that just fit well. So this one's Quarry Mountain Stalwart. It's got the Flurry ability for direct damage and life gain. 3 for a 3/3. That's awesome. And then this is the big bomb that we pulled. So Shiko, Paragon of the Way. These are one of the few cards I was looking forward to prior to the set coming out, and I'm super happy I pulled it. So this one is for 5 mana of the Jeskai colors. You get Flying Vigilance, and she's a 4/5. So when Shiko enters, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. Copy it, then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So this is right there, perfect for Jeskai. You saw some of the direct damage spells that we had, so we can pull those when she comes into play, and she's just a big bomb. So super happy we got that. She's going in for sure. Another Jeskai dragon. We love dragons. So for 5 costs, it's Flying Haste. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain a life and a draw card. So again, love drawing cards. You get 3/3. Yeah, that one's going in also. I think that will make the 6 dragons. Yep. Some artifacts here. So we were lucky enough to pull 2 of the Jeskai monuments, which are pretty cheap for 2 when it enters, and you can go and search for basic land. So that should definitely help with making sure we have the land that we need. And it's got an interesting tap ability. So you pay 4, 1 of each of the Jeskai colors included there, and you can create 2 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying. So that'll come in handy. We will put this in. And then we got some of the multicolored lands here. So this will give us a good spread to cover our mana needs. And we actually are just going to run 3 plains, 3 islands, and then 4 mountains. So that, including the multicolor lands, it's going to give us 14 lands. I know that's lower than the recommended 17, but I don't think our mana curve is too high, so we'll see what happens. And that's the deck. So, what actually happened with this deck? For the night, with the 3 opponents I went 0-3, but I did get a game off of each of the opponents, so it was 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And the opponents I played against, one had Teamer, another was Sultai, and then I played against another Jeskai. All the games are pretty close. I didn't get blown out, but yeah, it was really interesting learning some of the mechanics. I typically haven't played a lot of red and blue in the past, and so this is a really good learning experience. But yeah, some of the MVPs that came out during the game, Shiko was there in each of the games. I brought her out onto the battlefield, got to use her ability and play an exiled spell. One of the games that pretty much won me the game. I had to come from behind win because I got to play some direct damage. I think Channeled Fire Dragon was one spell that I pulled, and then Seize Opportunity was another one that I pulled from exile with Shiko's ability. The Tarkir Dragons, those came out every game also. Half the time I got them onto the field as a dragon. I also used the Omen ability a couple times. So I love the versatility of that card. And then one more that was definitely an MVP was Molten Exhale. So this guy, yeah, for 2 mana to deal 4 damage, I was able to get rid of a lot of threats on the board. You'll notice as you go through this set, there seems to be a lot of creatures that are 4 and below with toughness. So yeah, I'm glad I got 2 of those because I use those every game. So those were the MVPs. One card that was a little disappointing, surprisingly, was Sarkhan. So he came out every game also pretty early on, but in those games I just didn't get any dragons, and so I never fully got to use his ability. Didn't get to behold any dragons. I think I might have created 1 treasure token. But yeah, he's supposed to be an awesome card. He's awesome for 2 costs and a 2/2. Just need a little bit more dragon power there, backing him up. Thought 6 dragons would be enough in here, but yeah, just didn't work out. So want to try him again another time and see. I still think he might be an interesting card. And then the other card that I wanted to try but never came out was Taigam. He didn't even hit my hand, so I didn't see him at all during any of the matches. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to try him another time. One thing that I did notice here, so 14 lands, I know it's under the recommended 17, but I got mana flooded pretty much every game. I had no issues with mana. I think I ended one of the games, I had 10 mana, so hitting all the drops, getting mana when I needed. The card draw really helped here to get some of the mana, but yeah, just unlucky. Maybe my shuffling's terrible, didn't see enough spells to cast. But I did have fun building this. I thought it was a pretty tight deck, and yeah, that was that. Day 1. Didn't do any side decking just because it was, or sideboarding, just because the deck was too fresh and I wanted to see how everything worked. Just to show you guys some of the other cards that I pulled from the packs. Here I immediately ignored a lot of these just because the Jeskai cards that appear were just too good, so I went straight to Jeskai. Prior to the pre-release, I was really looking forward to black as a color to play. Just some of the cards seem pretty awesome. I think I got a bunch in here. This one's awesome, but yeah. Immediately put these on the side for another day. Went straight to deck constructing with Jeskai. So, show you some of these guys. Yeah, Dragon Sniper, another awesome card I read up on prior to pre-release. Hopefully I get to play with him in a different another time. Love the dragon border around some of these cards. And then here's some of the cards, blue, red, and white, that I left out of the deck. Oh. Rally the Monastery, considered putting that in, ended up keeping it out. It's kind of it at the end. Unending Whisper, this is one card that I think I'd consider putting in next time, just because it's cheap and drawing a card yeah, needed to get some more of my spells instead of just having lands in my hand. But yeah, that was the deck. Let me know what you guys think. Did I build it right? Any suggestions based on some of the cards you saw? And looking forward to day number 2 of pre-release.